Sort of committed to keeping everybody up to date with what we're going to do with our cheap batteries, but I didn't do that, and now things have changed significantly, so you'll have to forgive the mess. I'm in the middle of installing some new batteries, but that is not the cheap batteries that were here before. We moved the other batteries on only because we couldn't get enough matching cells, so what we're doing now is we're going to go from 35 kilowatt hours of the voltax batteries to 90 kilowatt hours of lithium 3.2 volt cells. So the other we still have the other battery bank. We would have expanded it if we could find other more cells that matched, well, sorry, more batteries that matched, and we simply couldn't. So the other batteries are going to get used on our caravan, which is what they were actually originally intended for in the first place, and now we're going to build this big battery bank to replace it. So we've got two of them balanced and in the rack. They're a 16S2P configuration, and they're 302 amp hour cells, so basically 30 kilowatts a shelf. These two shelves are working right now. The third shelf is inside, and we left enough room down the bottom there to put a fourth shelf in. You'll have to forgive the mess here. This is all in the process of being remediated. We had to take out our comms rack, which is why there's network cables everywhere. We expanded this board because the last time basically I was trying to squeeze all the controllers onto this tiny little bit of wood here, and that's not big enough, so they're all going to get moved over to there. We've upgraded the chargers. This was our biggest charger before. It's only a baby. We now have a 150 by 100, and there's a 250 by 100 down there, and they're all destined to live here. I've got some distribution boards there that I'm going to install so that we've got the appropriate sort of protection for the solar arrays and for the chargers themselves. We're still running on our Quattro 48 10000, which has been great. It's given us almost total grid independence, so we're disconnected from the grid now. The battery bank's generally charged by 10 o'clock in the day, which is awesome. Yeah, so that's where we're at. I'm going to rip into this today. Probably move the MPPTs over. I don't want to move the MPPTs until the battery's charged for the day. I've got some other cabling I can get rid of in the meanwhile. I've got to get rid of these bus bars because they're ugly as sin. So I'll probably start here. I want to drill all the holes in this board before I mount any cables behind it. I had an accident over here where I needed to put an additional hole in, and went through the board with the drill bit, and I went straight into that whopping great big cable and took a chunk out of the side of the insulation on the cable. So that's something else I'm going to have to pull out now and fix, which I'm not looking forward to. But so with this one, I don't want to make that mistake again. I'm going to drill all the holes first. I'm going to get the little touch keypad, and I'm going to put the touch keypad here in the wall, so it's finally mounted. It's been sitting on that ledge for God knows how long. It's unbelievable I haven't smashed it. So I'll drill all the holes, I'll mount the MPPTs, I'll go inside and check on the other battery, make sure that it's on its way to balancing. And so these are the old batteries we originally started with. I only just pulled them out of the shed. They're a little bit dusty, as you can see. These are 100 amp hour voltax batteries, and they've got a bad reputation, but I think they've only got a bad reputation because of their cost. They're actually spectacular. They do have some limited charging and discharge capabilities, but they're brilliant, and these things have been in place for us. Some of them, so this was bank 3. These would be about 18 months old. The first two banks were maybe 2 years old now. I can't remember when I made the first video, but they've been spectacular. And outside of a couple of caveats of trying to keep each of the individual batteries balanced, we've got a battery equalizer for that. You'd periodically have to take them apart and rebalance them, but otherwise they were spectacular. We couldn't get more of the voltax batteries, so we got the voltx. They work fine as well. I believe that these are actually second-hand prismatic cells, and these ones were like B grade. They look like an 18650 inside. Another guy's made a video of them, but they worked fine. And the only reason that we're changing is, one, we couldn't get any more of these, and I don't like the idea of mixing different capacities together. So these are just destined for the caravan now, which is what we intended for them in the first place. So these ones, I'm not sure what I'm going to do yet. I'm probably going to disassemble them. They've got prismatic cells, and I've got more JK BMSs, so I could turn that into a 48 volt pack with a proper BMS on it. It'll only be a 10 kilowatt hour pack, We've got 35 kilowatt hours of these. I think 30 of it will go in the caravan, and we'll keep 4 of the batteries for other purposes. Like I could change the caravan's AGM batteries over to lithium, and then we'll have a full lithium setup in the caravan. It's a little bit disappointing that we couldn't get more of these, because they were awesome. Lots of people knock them online, but they have not let us down. We run the entire house on it. We're actually running the spa right now, and the spa is running off of our batteries. So, a little disappointing. We've got 3 of these breaker boxes, but one of them's busted out of the factory, which is a little irritating. So, I feel like the breakers should really be at eye height. Like, I can mount the MPPTs a little bit lower, but that's already there. It's white. This is white. So I sort of, I don't know, I feel a bit funny about it if I don't put this in line with the other one. So I think I'll get 1, 2, 3. I'm not really comfortable working around that with those wires on, so I might mount that one today and that one today, and I think that's where the screen's going to go. Yeah, I'll get stuck into it, see how it looks. The MDF gets stuck in my hole saw all the time. It's really irritating. So I started doing that. It has saved me so much bloody time. Because now I can jam my screwdriver down there and pull the bloody thing out. Why didn't I think of that before? Alright, I said I'd drill all the holes before I did any wiring, but I've done all these holes up here. I feel like I can safely drill the hole down here without hitting anything. Bear in mind that this is 16mm wire. These are 100 amps, so that 16mm wire is not good enough. We've currently got them capped at 60 amps a piece. So I'm just doing a test install here with this one. I'm also not super happy. I prefer these to be no arcs. I don't have any at the moment, so I'm going to do the setup with these. They are DC 440 volt. So it's a 63 or 60. Oh, sorry, a 32 or 32 and a 10 and a 10. These are probably a little bit too big. I am building a combiner box where the solar arrays are, so there'll be fuses there and there'll be fuses or breakers here. I'll change these out later. I'm also not happy that I'm going to go directly into the bus bar and I can't cut this off. And one of the other features of these is they have this nifty little input here that you can shut the controller down. So I want to send 2 extra wires up to a single pole breaker here, so I can manually turn off the charge controller. Anyway, yeah, I guess I'll crack on with it for the time being. This will be temporary. Like I haven't got the conduit that goes outside to the combiner box yet, so I'm basically just plugging this in to see what sort of production we get and test to see if what I've done is going to work. You probably shouldn't be doing any of this with 250 volts if you're not an electrician. Australian law is pretty clear. I think it's 120 volts DC ripple free. You have to have a license, or it might be the other way around. Is it 50 volts DC, 120 volts AC, you don't touch. So yeah, if you're not an electrician, don't do it yourself. Yeah, so I've decided I really don't like this idea. This is crap. What I'd like to have is the breakers going to the combiner boxes off to the left, a main breaker for the solar into the charger on the right. But then I don't have a breaker for this. I've got a fuse in the links, but I can't just turn off the 48 volts coming down to here. So that doesn't sit well with me. So I'm wondering if, shame I've already cut that hole. I'm wondering if I stick another box down here that controls the power that goes to these. I don't really need another point of failure, so maybe I don't bother with the fuses in this, and I just put a breaker box down here. It sort of strikes me as a better idea, because I need to be able to cut the battery power to these, and I want the solar distinctly different to the battery power. So I can't do that today, but I'll button this up, turn this charger back on so I can, I heard the spar's turned off, so I'll turn the charger back on so I can run the spar again, and I'll deal with this another time. Well, that's today's effort. I'm pretty happy with that. I'm okay with it, whatever. You just, we've got a contact, actually I can turn it on from here. So we've got a critical load of 4100 watts. This is pretty cool. I hadn't actually intended to talk about this today, but we have a contactor that's attached to the servo controller, It's this one here, and we use MQ2T to talk to it, but it basically turns the spar on and off. So when we've need a dump load, we can turn the spar on and continue to produce power. So I'm going to turn that on. Should see a drastic, oh, that's a bit disappointing, isn't it? Oh, there it goes. There we are. All these charges will kick back in. So we have AC coupled solar here, and we've got DC coupled solar. So that's the next thing I've got to remediate, is all those inverters over there. These ones will react to the load based on the frequency that the power's running at, and these ones down the bottom here are the MPPTs. The MPPTs are kicking ass, but the AC coupled solar is equally as big. Anyway, I'm happy with today's little effort. I've got to still move these MPPTs over to here. I've got so much wiring to make safe, it's not funny yet. I mean, it's been here for a year, so, well, 2 years now, so I'm comfortable that it's safe enough for the moment, but I definitely need to make some improvements. Anyway, I'll leave it at that today.